Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today. In this video, guys, I'm quickly going to cover the lower time frames and then move on to higher and higher time frames as this video goes on. Either way, so on this 1 hour time frame, you can see that we have a confirmed bullish divergence in the charts. We already confirmed this yesterday, of course, and typically this plays out either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum over the next 24 hours. Right here, we have that bullish price action playing out as expected. And since it has been about 24 hours, I'm not putting too much weight on this bullish divergence anymore. I'm pretty much assuming that this has mostly played out at this point. Overall, though, we are technically still in an uptrend on this lower time frame because we're still holding above this ascending line of support, sitting at 119K in the Bitcoin price. But keep in mind, guys, that if we were to now break down below this ascending trend line, I am expecting another pullback for Bitcoin to occur because at that point we have a high and a lower high coming in as well. So we have to assume that we are going to get a bit of bearish momentum at that point. So keep an eye on these lower time frames and also understand that there is a difference between the different time frames. Because for example, on this 2-day time frame, this is still looking bullish. We are still in a breakout from this bull flag pattern that broke out at about 108K in the Bitcoin price and is currently still targeting 126K for Bitcoin. So this is currently my price target. Next, I want to talk about this inverse head and shoulders pattern because I actually made a mistake here and I need to repair this in this video because yesterday Alex pointed out that this pattern was indeed invalid. Now he did say it in a different tone, I guess, but overall his point did come across. This pattern is indeed invalid and I made a mistake here because an inverse head and shoulders pattern can only occur in a downtrend because it is a reversal pattern. So you are in this downtrend here, then you get the inverse head and shoulders, and then when you break the neckline, this is actually the reversal signal. However, in this case, guys, we have a move to the upside, then an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and then the breakout. So this is not how an inverse head and shoulders works. And like I said, I made a mistake there, so my apologies for that. Overall, besides me publicly making a mistake, I don't think there's too much harm done because we were already bullish from about 108K from this bull flag pattern. And even before then, we were already bullish at about 105K from this falling wedge pattern on the 1-day time frame. So in the videos here, this was only like a little bit of extra confluence, but we were still just targeting this 126K level. So that's why I don't think too much damage was done, and I'm happy that I was able to repair this before this potentially invalidated. So thank you to Alex for actually pointing this out. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 1 week time frame, notice how right here we are very close to taking out a decent amount of liquidity at 120.3K. So this could be a short-term area of interest for Bitcoin to take out a bunch of short positions here. Although most of the liquidity is to the downside right now at 115.6K. Overall, the Bitcoin price tends to get attracted to where there is the most liquidity. And as you can see on this 1 month time frame, yes, of course, we have liquidity to the upside, even as high as 123.6K. There's another pocket at 120K and 121K as well. But notice how there is a massive amount of liquidity to the downside. And I don't think we should completely ignore this. That's why I said pay attention to these lower time frames, because if we are really breaking down below some critical levels of support, again, we might have to entertain the idea that we're going to take out a level of liquidity, for example, at around 115K. Lastly, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we saw another big inflow into the Bitcoin ETFs, about $400 million flowing in a single day of trading. So overall, the Bitcoin ETFs are still having an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. So this has been today's market update, guys. Once again, my apologies for making that mistake with the inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now, I have made about 450 videos on YouTube. As far as I'm aware, I have only made 4 mistakes like this while covering Bitcoin on every single time frame, every single day, doing the liquidity analysis and the Bitcoin ETF flow table analysis as well. So overall, yeah, mistakes are going to happen at some point. I have to accept that, but of course, I'm not very happy with making a mistake like this. Regardless, if you guys do have any questions for me, feel free to ask them in the comments down below. But either way, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.